Welcome back to In Focus. It's time now for our In Focus Health Report. And joining us now is health reporter Linord Moudou. You're going to tell us why today is a very, very important day, Linord.
Very important day for your heart. Today, September 29, is World Heart Day. The special day was established in 2000 to inform people worldwide that heart disease and stroke are the world's leading causes of death. More than 17 million people in the world die every year from cardiovascular disease, and over 80% of these deaths occur in low and middle-income countries. Heart disease was on the agenda during the recent UN high-level meeting on non-communicable diseases. Joining us now on the phone from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, is Dr. Sidney Smith, president of the World Heart Federation. He is an expert in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Dr. Smith, welcome to In Focus.
Thank you. It's good to join you.
It's good to have you. Dr. Smith, usually when we talk about cardiovascular diseases, what are some of the most frequent conditions that you see, especially with sub-Saharan Africa or countries, underdeveloped countries?
Well, the thing that we're seeing in the developing countries is that what we used to think would not occur there is occurring. Heart attacks now are occurring worldwide. Stroke, because of high blood pressure as its risk factor, is a major problem in countries with low and middle income. And then also in countries like Africa, we have rheumatic heart disease, and South Asia, in the Southeastern Pacific, we have rheumatic heart disease affecting children. So it is the leading cause of death worldwide, heart disease, and families can take measures to protect themselves against heart disease.
And what are some of the measures?
Well, there's several very important ones. Stop smoking. Do not allow smoking in your house, and understand that it's not just the person that's smoking. Children, anybody who is inhaling smoke also has an increased risk of heart disease. Choose a healthy diet. Try to eat at least 2 to 3 vegetables on lunch and dinner. Begin to look at more fruits and vegetables. Add fruits to your diet. And then thirdly would be choose exercise, a way to get regular exercise. If you have children, look at things you can do regularly outside.
And quickly, Dr. Smith, can you tell us the significance of World Heart Day?
Yes, well, World Heart Day is a day when we all pause worldwide to think about the tragedy that heart disease brings to us and to our families. It is the leading cause of death, and it's largely preventable. And so nations all around the country today will be talking about what they can do to prevent unnecessary death, early death, and disability from heart disease and stroke. It's a very, very important day, and I hope that everyone listening to this program will go home and say, what can we do to protect our family and our house against having heart disease or stroke? And there's some easy measures: no smoking, the right diet, exercise, and recognize the symptoms.
Right on point there. Dr. Smith, thank you so much for joining us today on In Focus. And that was Dr. Sidney Smith, president of the World Heart Federation. Well, researchers in the United States are now investigating if a charcoal might one day be used to prevent heart attacks.
John Wallace has a long history of heart disease. He suffered the first of his 2 heart attacks in 1980, and he has been wearing a defibrillator for the past 18 years. Research ongoing at Maryland Medical School may benefit Wallace and others like him. He is being treated to a couple of hours of fun because doctors here believe laughter is therapeutic. Over the past 5 years, Professor Michael Miller has studied the effects of laughter on 30 volunteers.
There is now some scientific evidence that supports the fact that laughter should not be taken lightly, that it really does appear to have a physiologic effect. What we still don't know is whether practicing laughter on a regular basis reduces the risk of heart attacks.
The men and women involved in the initial study were between 30 and 70 years old. But unlike Wallace, they were all healthy and showed no history of cardiovascular disease. Now, Miller is keen to show the effects can be measured on someone with a history of heart problems as well. First, Wallace is treated to a funny movie before measurements are taken of his endothelium, or inner lining of the blood vessel. Then, he views a traumatic movie and the measurements are taken once again.
If you have risk factors for heart disease, then that inner lining doesn't function as well. And the idea here is after stress, you're constricting the blood vessel because chemicals are produced to cause that reaction. And over time, those continued stressful reactions can have a damaging effect on the heart. This is before we blow the blood pressure cuff in the morning. This is blood flow over here.
Professor Miller is particularly pleased with Wallace's results. He claims that showing the films back-to-back demonstrates how his arteries can open and close in a short amount of time.
The magnitude of the change that we have seen after experiencing a good laugh is similar to what is experienced after aerobic activity. And it's similar to what is experienced after taking a heart protective medication, such as a statin.
Miller is anxious to know whether a hearty chuckle combined with a healthy lifestyle may help prevent heart disease.
We know that laughing appears to have a good effect on our vascular system, but how does that translate into people that have already established heart disease? In other words, if you take a group of people and have them laugh on a regular basis, will that potentially reduce their risk of having a heart attack or another heart attack?
Eventually, Professor Miller hopes that he may be able to show that laughter can be a full-fledged alternative treatment for heart disease.
So keep laughing, Vincent.
You
It's
see
good
why?
for you.
You see why I'm always laughing. You wonder why. It's like, why are you laughing?
I know.
That's the reason. Well, thanks a lot for that informative segment on the heart. Now, look for Linord Moudou's health reports every Tuesday and Thursday right here on In Focus.